Good morning, everyone, and thank you guys so much for joining us for this morning's webinar on the Cloud CMA and Realcomp Online 3. My name is Janine Gardner. I'm one of your trainers at Realcomp, along with my partner, Tora Robertson. I'm super excited to bring you guys this. If you've ever been on any of our other webinars, especially the CMA one, you'll know that I really get really excited to show you that stuff on the CMAs. Well, this is a cool way to present your CMA, and they just added in a new feature yesterday that is like the coolest thing. You can look at Zoom. You can actually do your CMAs virtual from Zoom. You can do it from Google Handouts. There's so many cool things that I'm excited to show you this morning. And here's the other cool part about it. You don't have to rack your brain trying to learn it because it's really just a couple of clicks of the button. So let's go ahead and get started. This is recorded, so you guys are going to get a recording of this probably within the next 48 hours that you can go back and start perfecting your CMAs with cloud products and things of that sort. So if you were in my other tutorial for CMAs, I pointed out that down at the bottom on our Realcomp dashboard, you do have Cloud CMA, you have Cloud MLX and Cloud Streams that you can get to from the dashboard. But I personally like to do my CMAs within Realcomp Online, just in case I have a hiccup or I have to go back and find something, or I put the wrong thing in, I can take it out and put it right back in and keep it going instead of starting all over. So I'm going to click on RCO3. MLS. Do that. And I'm going to close out some of these different announcements. Now, to bring up the announcement, after we are done with this webinar here, I believe at 10:30, we've got another product coming out for you guys today through Remind. And you want to check that out too and look at the webinar for Remind. It's a live one that's coming. I'm trying to look up. Here it is right here. Oh, that's HomeSnap. That's coming too. So this week is a week of all new stuff. So make sure that you go through your different announcements that we have here and sign up for the different webinars so you can see all the new things. I think there's 4 new products that we're bringing to you this week alone so that you're able to work with different means as we have had to in these last 6 to 8 weeks. So here I am logged in. And I am going to start my CMA here. So I'm actually going to start it an unconventional way through the speed bar. The last webinar that we did, I showed you guys this trick. I hope you've been practicing it because it works like a charm. So I'm going to go and I'm going to search in Birmingham to see what I can find for my CMA. So I'm going to put in the code in the speed bar, sold, space, S like in Sam, D as in David for sold date, space, it's beginning of May. Let's see, I'm probably gonna let me go back to 60 days and see what I get. I can always change it. 0 representing today, minus 60, going 60 days back, space, RS for residential, CO would be condo, MF would be multifamily, VL would be vacant land, space, and I'm gonna type in the name of the city. And let's see what we get when I hit enter. So 64 properties in the last 60 days have sold in all of Birmingham. Now I'm going to tweak it a little bit. So the first thing that I'm going to do is sort by price because I want to get those leases out of there. And there's just a couple. Now, yes, I could check them off and get rid of them, but here's my little trick that I do for the speed bar. I can see that the highest sold lease was $6,000. So I'm going to go back up to the top of the speed bar, put a space, and I'm going to put dollar sign 10 plus. This is going to get rid of all the leases because now I'm looking for $10,000 or more. And when I hit enter, now my leases are gone. Now I'm down to 52 properties with the lowest that sold in Birmingham, 198. The highest that sold in Birmingham, let's get that down here, is 1.95. So that's all that happened in the last 60 days in Birmingham. So I can begin my CMA with this. I'm going to add in a couple other things, which in the grid single line, I'll need to add in always an additional geographic location. So let me backtrack a little bit, because not only am I showing you the cool things that we just added in Cloud CMA, I also want you to understand this can be one of the fastest ways for you to do a CMA. We went back 60 days. What do you need when you do a CMA? You need time and you need an additional geographic location. Well, I have my location and I have the time. I went back 60 days, but where in Birmingham do I want to be? So with the grid single line, I'm going to find the column. And for class purposes, I'm going to do it right in the center. I'm going to take my mouse, hover in the column of city, right click, and a little window will pop open. I'm going to come on down, click on Insert Column. And when I click on Insert Column, there's just a few things that I'm going to add in so I can get the best results for my CMA. So first thing is I'm going to add in basement type, because I want to know if it's finished or not finished. And I'll apply that. And it'll take a second to pull up, and then I will add in a couple more. I want to add in garage size. So I'll scroll down a little bit. And the last thing that I'm going to add in is my geographic location. I'm looking for a particular subdivision. So I'm going to click in the box, click Insert Column, and type in subdivision. But you can use school district if it's split. You can use zip code if you wanted to go there too. You get to pick the difference of the geographic locations that you'd like. And then I can sort by clicking on subdivision name, and I can put them all together. And then that makes life a little bit easier when you're doing your CMA. Okay, so let's see here. Let me grab. I did forget to tell you, you might need pen and paper because you might have to write something down here. So I am going to write down my subject property here. And, excuse me, once I have that, I'm going to select, excuse me, I'm going to select the subdivision that I need, which is right here, actually. Humphrey's pulled right up for me, so I'm going to select that. And I'm going to scroll all the way back down to the bottom. Oh, wow, lots of people got out of this particular sub. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and notice that we have Cloud CMA right here. So I'm going to give that a click. And if you did the homework prior where you clicked on Cloud CMA and you set it up and you put all your info in, when you click on Cloud CMA, it'll take you right to the wizard. There's 4 steps here to complete your CMA. This will probably take you no less than 10 minutes. So I'm going to name my CMA. So I'll probably name it the customer's name. And then I'll move on over to subject property and type in the actual address of the subject that I'm doing my CMA on. And it'll try to help you out a little bit. So accept that. And sometimes public records will kick in and it'll pull the information in. You can change this if you need to, which I'm pretty sure I would change that. And then you have your photo that you can add of the subject property if you have it. We'll scroll on down just a little bit here. Oops, that was not that one. And now I have a opportunity to do 2 different types of CMAs if I want to. Since I have picked my comps, I can utilize those, Or if I didn't get enough, I could let the system go find some for me. Sometimes we beat our head against the wall trying to find comps, and there's just nothing happening at that time. So usually, instead of getting frustrated, I will take one or two that I have, and I will come into Cloud CMA and I will do the quick and dirty. And notice it says automatically find listings near the subject property. You can search up, not that you would ever want to, of course, but you could search up to 50 of them, and at least 10, and it will find you listings, whether they be on the market, off the market. It will find you something that happened in that area, and you get to decide on the timeline. So you could go from 1 month up to 3 years if you needed to. And don't think that that's out of the question. Sometimes in some areas nothing did sell, so, and you have to show your customer something so you can come out of that box of, oh my gosh, I only have to do 60 days or 90 days or 180 days. I can only go back a year. Not anymore. There are no concrete rules to doing a CMA like that anymore. There's framework, but if you have to go back months and months just to find a comp, that's what you have to do. And then you have to explain that to your customer. There's nothing that did sell in your area in the last year or so. So I went back 18 months and I did find 1 or 2 properties that did match for that. I also went out of the area because nothing did sell in your area, and I still found 1 or 2 more properties that are similar to yours that I could use. So all those things that we kind of learned about what a CMA has to be, not necessarily so when it comes to your time framing. So now that I have got my comps, I'm going to go ahead and click on fetch listings, because this is where, if I need to, it'll give me the look over. So if I need to make adjustments or get rid of some or add some in, I can do that here. So it pulls it up on the map for me. And if I scroll on down just a tad bit, it gives me the low, the medium, the average, and the high. And then I can scroll down again just a little bit lower. And this is where I would make my adjustments of the property. Just again, another adjustment of what I'd like to keep and what I probably would like to get rid of before I put it in my CMA. So although it's the same neighborhood, I probably don't need Webster when on the same street, most property that I'm doing my CMA on, most properties sold for a third of that. So I'm going to undo Webster. Let's see here. I'll probably keep that one. Undo a couple of them. Let's see here. So this is your chance to give it the last look over and see what you would like to keep in your CMA report. You also, here's something that's cool as well. Maybe you know the neighborhood that you're doing the CMA on very well. Maybe you've done some research on it before you began your CMA, and you noticed that there were a couple for sale by owner properties, some that didn't make it into our MLS but sold. You can add a listing. If it works out to be a good comp, you can click on add a listing. If you have the photo, great, you can add that, but you can put in some of the information about the property and use that as a comp as well. So you can add up to 10 listings with this one. So that's kind of cool that they're allowing you to adjust your CMA just so. Oh, there's a couple. I can get rid of Holland too. That doesn't work. So there we go. So you make your CMA the way that you need to for your comfort, although you pick the right properties. And here's something else I would suggest. You can put in a set price, but I would probably do that with the customer, especially since you can go live with them now. If you put in a set price, you got to think how people might take that. They might think, oh, they're telling me this is the suggested price, and if I go with this, if it doesn't work out, then you become the bad guy. I will let them pick the price and fill it in to complete my report. And so then as I scroll back up to the top, I'm now going to go to customize. And this is where the work begins, guys. This is why, again, if you haven't been back into Cloud CMA, take about a half an hour out of your time, make up a mock CMA just like I did, blend it on in, and then you want to stay on this page for a while, customize, because you want to have the look, you want to have the data that you need, and you want to make sure that you have the right reports that you want to show your customer. There's over 60 reports here. So you just don't want to take it all, because some of it they don't need, or they don't need it at this time. So you want to make sure you are seeing you want it to represent you the best that you can. So if you look right into the center here, this is where the report is made. So you get to pick a color scheme if you'd like to. So I'm going to click on theme. It'll show you a preview. And if I click the down arrow, you've got all these different colors that some of them are obnoxious colors, but look, they give you the whole rainbow here to pick from. So you can pick your office colors, you can pick something different that you like. I mean, all kinds of different things that they have and they offer here. So I'm just going to grab one in general. And you get to see a preview of it. And I'll click on choose theme. You can always change it if it doesn't look how you want it to look. You also get to pick a layout. If I click on layout, you have 6 different layouts to choose from. I'm going to go with the one that says photo with max data for class, because I want you to see as much information as they have. So we'll do that. And then I can show you how to come back and edit it as well. And fonts. You can pick the font that you want to. So you can scroll down. There's lots of different ones that you can choose from. I'm just going to grab one in general. And then here's where the work begins. If I scroll down just a tad bit, okay, here's all the pieces that you put together. You can change your title page. For instance, how many customers really know what a comparative marketing analysis is? Not really. So you can click on edit, and if you wanted to call this neighborhood sales or reports, totally up to you. If I could spell it right today. Name it whatever you like to call your report. You've got a cover letter that you can edit. You've got an agent resume that you definitely can edit. And you've got information about your company that you can edit. Now, if you choose not to have those in your report, notice how I'm just kind of hovering over to the side there. You can actually click on the little dash to get rid of that page if you don't want it to be there. And that's with all of your pages that you have. So you get to build this up a little bit here to what you like. And this is everything. Yeah, this is everything. So I'm just going to go through and show you how you can remove things that you don't need just by clicking on the X. We don't need a move-in checklist yet. We're just trying to do our presentation. We don't need showings and open house checklist. We don't even know if we got the listing and the staging, and all those different things. We'll come back and get the marketing action plan after you get the listing. So there's so many different things that you definitely want to go through. If you wanted to see what they look like, all you have to do is click on the link of it. It'll pull it up slowly but surely. And then you can scroll down and you can even download it if you'd like to, or print it off for your preview if that's what you wanted to do. So it's just showing you what the report will look like. And then you can decide if you'd like to keep it or not. So I'm going to get rid of listing paperwork overview. So this is where the hard work is. But here's the cool part. Once you have, for lack of a better term, designed your CMA, it will remember it. So the next time that you come in and you do a CMA, it'll take half this time here. I don't need a closing chapter just yet. And yes, we want to make sure that we have this. Now, here is one report that I think is so cool that everybody should have. So I'm going to go over to the analysis side where I can add different things in. And I want to add in for the analysis, the online valuation analysis. That's given by Zillow. And where do most customers go? Before you even go to their home, they've already looked up their address on Zillow, and now they think they're smarter than you because Zillow told them the price of their home, right? So why not beat them to the punch? Add that right on into your report, and it's all set, so you can say, not only this is what Zillow says about your property, but here's what it says about the comps too. So, you know, you already have that worth its weight in gold. So you design it how you like to. You know, you can be as robust as you like, or you can be as simplistic as you like. It's up to you. And then I'm going to click on Publish Report because we're going to save it. I'm going to show you 3 cool ways that you can present your CMA to a customer. You just have to be, and I don't have much patience, but you have to just be a little bit patient and waiting for it all to save and things of that sort. Now, when the page comes up after you save it, you guys are looking at all of my old CMAs. They don't delete unless I delete them. So if you wanted to kind of clean house, and eventually you might, you're going to click on the 3 dots here. When I click on the 3 dots above my different CMAs, I can copy a PDF link. I can copy a live link if I wanted to put it on my Instagram or on my Facebook or anything of that sort. I've got a view slideshow, which is really cool. I'm excited to show you guys that. Or you can copy the slideshow link and again put it on any of your social media or send it in your emails or anything like that. If you wanted to simply email the report to a customer, you could do that too. I would be a little leery about that if they're, you know, if they haven't signed the document yet, but that's up to you. If that's the way that you'd like to do that, that's fine. Now, you also can create what's called a home beat, which is a full-blown presentation of how you created the CMA, how to market it, the whole 9 yards, okay? And of course, you can delete the report. So let's look at what it looks like if you were to just view the PDF. You're sitting with your customer across from the table, and you just want to show them the documents. You don't want to print it or do anything but show them that. So I'm going to click on View PDF for the first presentation. So here's our cover sheet. And remember, I named it Neighborhood Sales. You get to name it whatever you like. As I continue to scroll down, here we go, my cover sheet. Here's my resume that I created and left to show. Here's information about my company, what a CMA is. Again, these are all the pages that I design, information about you to contact you. And here is the report, map of comparable listings. So you've got all your comps here to show where the property is and what it's about. Here's the summary of comparables. So the sold date, beds, bath, square footage, the price in the square feet again. Scrolling on down to our listings. So remember, this is the one that has the most information. So you've got your listing right here with all the details. And then as I scroll down, here's the inside of the property. Here's the next listing. And again, the inside of the property. And we'll just keep going. I'll fast forward these. I think you guys get the point that you get to see the listing and then the inside shots of it. So let me get past this really quickly here so you can see the other reports and what they look like. Just super speed through this. But you can see that you'll be with your customer and you'll be able to go through this, and that while you're showing them this, they are comparing, psychologically, they're comparing their home to these right here. So they're not missing out on anything. just because you didn't print it for them. As a matter of fact, if you were probably to print it for them, they'd probably stop listening to you because they'd be so into the pictures and things of that sort. Now, here we go with the analysis, the comparable property statistics. How many sold, the average, and the average days on market. Here's that online valuation analysis that I was telling you guys about that I think should be in almost every report. So, because it's all about the estimates, and let's face it, they beat you to Zillow. So they already think in their mind what it could be, what their home could be worth. So it shows them, and it comes from Zillow. So it shows how fair everybody's playing. So here's the sold date. Here's the actual sold price. Here's their estimate, and here's the difference. So actually, this is not a bad report. Look at the differences. It's not too much of a difference from what Zillow said of the estimate to what it actually sold for. Not too bad this time. And the dates that it sold. And as we scroll on down, here's another report, the sold property analysis. So customers can get their mind and gear about how long it might take on average for them to be able to sell. So a little over 2 months. But that's also because of where, you know, the last 8 weeks, we've all kind of been locked up this season as well. So that would probably be different come May, June, and then just the rest of the report that we have here that I added in just as a little oomph, you know, depending on what you wanted to show. So again, there's like over 60 reports that you definitely can show your customer. You just, you know, pick what works for you. So that is the first presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. That was viewing the PDF. I want to show you the slideshow that you can do. So those are the 3 dots at the top, and we can click on the view slideshow. This is kind of impressive as well. So here's my cover sheet, and it's still kind of downloading there. And you have, now this is optimized for, if you're an Apple person like me, if you have an iPad or if you have an iPhone, this is optimized for that. So sorry, Galaxy people. It will show nicely on yours too, but you'll have to kind of fight a little bit with the resolution. So you have your little home button here, and you have the arrow that's guiding you through. And there is our subject property in purple right here with our comps. And everything is branded to you. So here's the first property, and you can't see it, but I'm used to looking at it so I can tell when it's kind of bouncing down to tell me, hey, go down, go down. And then I can click on that and I can see the inside photos. And you can actually click on the photos to enlarge them if you choose to do that as well. So you let the little arrows kind of guide you. Right through. So I'm just, again, I'm going to speed through the comps that we've got here and get to our reports. There's the analysis. And what I like about this, look at what it does for you. If you're the least bit shy, and I don't think you are because you're a realtor, but if you're the least bit shy, it tells your customer the next step. And it says it like a kind of command. Let's sign and complete this listing agreement. And when do you want me back to enter the listing into the MLS? And when can I take the photos? And here's how I'm going to help you sell your property. So it's not a question. It's like, this is what we're doing next. And it kind of, you know, it kind of makes the customer stop and think for a moment about the pricing. Now that they've seen the comps, they see how long it approximately takes to sell the property. With your expertise, with their thoughts on what their home is worth, you guys come up with a price to list. You whip that listing agreement out, they sign it, and we get on our listing. And that's simple as 1, 2, 3. That's the way it's supposed to work, right? So here's one more way that we can be impressive to get that listing. And again, it's brand spanking new today, and that's called the View Live. So this is where we kind of are right now, since we're still on that lockdown. Here we go. So I'm going to click on View Live. And it's just calibrating. And again, there's all my marketing information at the top, who it's for. So I set this up ahead of time. And if I click, I'm going to take you to the upper left-hand corner here. You'll see me circling it. There's a menu that when I click the down arrow, here's all of the different reports that I use. Now you can click on customize and you can go back and change it. For the live one, you might want different things. For the slideshow, you might want a different look. For the PDF, you might want a different look. So these are our basic forms that we use, but you can always go back into customize and change that up if you want a different look, depending on what it is you're showing your customer. And here is the best part. We can have a virtual meeting. Now, you guys are, of course, live with me now, so we're already having our virtual meeting, but find out from your customer if they know how to work Zoom or not, and then you can send them the link. Or they might use Skype. Okay, we're already in the screen now, or they might use Google Handouts. So how cool is this now that you have options, even from home right now, to do an actual live CMA? So let's talk about what it looks like. So here we go. I'm going to click on About Me, and I can change all this up, or down at the bottom, I can click on Start Presentation. So here's where you have the choice. If you wanted to go through and click on each individual part of the CMA, you could do that. Or if you wanted to run the whole slideshow all together, you could do that too. So I'm going to run the slideshow or the presentation so that you can see it. So I'll just start here. Again, I've got my information in here about the company, what a CMA is, and then we get to our first one with all of our comps. Now, here's the cool thing. Nobody wants to look at this all the way and just have you show them data, right, with columns. So at the very top, we're already looking at the comparables here. You can look at the map. Now watch this. This is so cool. I like it. So not only, and yes, it does look busy. I did notice that yesterday when I was playing around with this, but these are different parcels that you see, and the red buttons are properties that sold. That doesn't mean those are the comps. You see your comps because you see the pricing with them. It's just showing the activity of the neighborhood. The green are the active properties, and the orange ones are the pending properties. So even by our property here, here's our home. We can see, if I click on the orange one here, I didn't put it in my report, but I can see 2 blocks away, there's a pending property here for 278. And if I wanted to include it as a comp, I could. That's what I love so much about Cloud CMA. Remember, when we started off, what if I only got 2 CMAs that or 2 comps that I could use in the CMA? And I'm thinking to myself, that is just not enough. What am I going to do? I can't find anything. Here's something to throw out there. Yes, value is always sold, always sold. And if you don't get enough, because there are a lot of properties that are pending right now, or there are some that are active, this is the way that you get to scope around the neighborhood to try to find something even closely related to a subject property where there is very little activity. Like, for instance, this neighborhood over here. If there wasn't much going on, you could even say, well, 2 blocks up and over, there are some properties that have sold, or across Woodward. Here's where most of the activity took place. So even if it's just not right here, you're now able to show with this map, you're able to show the customers the activity. And then because you've already probably did your homework ahead of time, you're able to make your presentation a little bit smoother about what you want to show them when you're looking at it in the map view. And if you needed to add this in as a comp, you surely can, just by adding that in. and changing, again, the averages of what's going on. So you also have your listing to go back to. If the map is too busy, you can click on the list. And then when I click on compare, you get, some of you that have been in the business for a long time, you'll know about the 3-up report. Well, now they call it a 4-up report. So here you go. You have your subject property and you have 3 comps per page so that they can look at it and go right across and just simply compare about the comps here. So I love this. Again, it's not even 24 hours old. And this is some of the coolest stuff that they have to offer. And then you can click on your property, your comp, if you wanted to, and dig deeper and look at the entire report. So it's really cool. And again, if you decide, oh, I don't want to use that as a comp, you can take that off. And I'm going to do that with this one. And now it won't show up in your report. So it's really cool that you have 3 different ways now, the compare, the map, and the list, to show your customer what you wanted to look at, or how we should list the property. So I'm going to click on average pricing. That's my next report. If I go to average price per square footage, so it shows you on the street. Now this is that one street where and how properties have gone up, gone down, what's happening on it, price per square footage, and then you get to see, as I take my mouse and I just kind of hover over them, you'll see the red dot get bigger depending on which house it is. And I also have a little eye. If you have a report and you get this little eye, if the customer needs additional explaining, or again, if you send this to them, you can click on that and you can actually run a report or run a video so that they understand exactly what they're looking at. I'm very impressed by this, as you can tell. If I click on time to sell, here's another report that you can do that. Again, look for the eye, because if customers don't understand this, it'll run like a little minute, video for them to explain where this all fits in. And again, the online valuation, just really kind of cool. And it explains, and this is really good because this is, in my opinion, when you talk about Zestimates, this is when you really are educating your customer. Okay, you're not overdoing it, you're really educating them, because they live by this till they talk to someone like yourself that can show them value means sales. Zillow doesn't necessarily do their Zestimates with just sales. We don't know what they're doing to come up with their pricing, right? But we know that they're not just using sold, but you did when you did your CMA. So that's why you're closer to an actual price than grabbing on market, grabbing off market. And you've proven that by the comps that you did by showing them on the map and showing them on the list. Then you have all the other reports that you added in for fluff or whatever the case might be to go through. So that, my friends, is your new live. And again, you just click on the menu and you're able to change the sorting of this. If I click on just one, it'll explain it. Yep, we don't need that. And then it gives you a dictionary. It's so cool. So if I click on that, and I can click and drag it, and I can put it kind of where I want it to go here. If I change the order, which is kind of cool, I can drag it and drop it wherever I want it to be. So, and again, you can use Zoom, you can use Skype, and you can use Google Hangouts. If you don't know what that means, that's really cool too. So definitely play with that if you've got a Google account, and I think most of you do. But Hangouts is something that it's not new, but it's now starting to get a lot of usage. So definitely offer that. And if they don't know how to work Zoom, they don't know how to work Skype, you have Hangouts if you wanted to do a live one with them so that you can discuss the CMA with them now. So it is really cool. And you have lots of opportunities now. And it opens up in another tab, sorry guys, that you can go back and do the PDF, do the live one, or don't forget in the 3 dots, you have the slideshow. And then you can actually copy these and put them on your social media if you choose to. If you wanted to do an overview of a particular, not a CMA in particular, but an overview of a city, by all means, do your CMA on that, and then just bring it on in, and then copy the link, put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram, and let people look at it and see what's going on. Here's the latest solds in Birmingham. You're not given a specific address. You're just putting the information out there and letting them see that. So I'm very impressed by this. I'm sure it's going to grow. Like I said, it's less than 24 hours old. So I'm sure they're going to go back now that everybody's playing with it and tweak it and see what they like about it and see what they want to change from the feedback and all that cool stuff. So go ahead and play with it. Have some fun with it. Get excited about. That's a cool way to do a CMA. And good luck. If you guys have any questions, please make sure that you call us and let us know. Could you show how to get a selected listing on Realcomp to Cloud CMA once again? Yes, I will gladly show you how I get back into Cloud CMA. Let me do that. So I'm going to close out of this, guys. See how I just closed the tab at the top? And this is why I like to do my CMAs within Realcomp. So again, here's what I'm going to suggest. Yes, you have the option to do it off of the dashboard. However, if you don't want, like maybe I don't want all of these, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to start again. Let me pick another city. I think we have just yep, I got a couple minutes just to show you this because I don't want you guys to miss the 10:30 webinar for Remind Live, so you can show your customers how to get their open houses together or show their properties live through Remind. So let me go back there and I'll show you again my cool way of doing the CMA, which is in the speed bar. So the sequence is sold space, S like in Sam, D as in David for sold date, space. I'm only going to go back 30 days this time, 0-30, space, property type. So RS in this case, or CO for condo, MF for multifamily, space. And I'm going to put in my city. So I'm going to use Troy this time and hit enter. So there's 45 properties that sold in the last 30 days in all of Troy, the whole city. So I'm going to scroll over a little bit. And I am going to sort, if it'll let me. Sometimes you can have too much on your page. Come on, move on over a little bit here. And let's see that. So I'm going to sort by price. And I'm going to get rid of my leases by going up to the speed bar again, putting a space, putting $10 plus, hitting enter. And that gives me, again, that gives me everything from the lowest to the highest sold price in the area. I would then, because I got to be on my grid single line, I would then pick a column and then I would right click and then I get my window to come up so I can insert or remove. So I showed you guys how to insert last time. I'm going to remove county because I want more space here. So I'm going to get rid of what I don't need. So I can insert or I can remove columns. And then I'm going to sort by my subdivision. And when I sort by my subdivision, now I can pick the comps that I want. And There we go. Scroll on down to the very bottom and click on Cloud CMA. So this literally will take you less than 10 minutes if you've done the work ahead of time by setting up your report. I can name it whatever I like. Let's say call this the Joneses, and then I can go in and put in my subject property. And again, add a photo if you choose to or not. It's up to you how you want to make your cover page look. And then I can scroll on down to the bottom. I've got my comps here, or again, I can let the system find them. And I'll click on Fetch Listings. Again, this is my chance to do the once over. I've added in what I like, so it'll give me a chance to scroll down and double check and make sure I'm using the right comps that I want. If I don't want them, I can uncheck them if something really doesn't like fit in. Or I can add in any listing that I like to. You don't necessarily have to have the MLS number. You can add it in with the address too. But you'll have to, if you want the picture, you'll have to add in the picture. And then I can click on Customize Report. And again, this is the part that I want you to take your time with, because this is where it gets to either be too much or not enough or right on point, okay? So you'll have to come back and edit certain fields here. You again, your resume, cover letter, things of that sort. You get to pick your color scheme, which I'm going to change that now. And you get to change your layout. So, you know, we did the photo with Max the last time. I might do the 2 properties per page, you know, just kind of depends on what you want. And then I'll click on Publish. Oh, I want to make sure I got my analysis. Don't forget the online valuation analysis. That's the one that Zillow gives. So I'll add that in and I'll click on Publish Report. And I'll wait for it to save. And again, here's your 3 looks of presenting. So you've got your view PDF, which I usually, to be honest with you, I usually click on this first because I want to see, like, it's 22 pages. Who wants to print that? And definitely not in color, right? So this is your, when you look at the PDF, this gives you a chance to go back and edit so that you, before you send it out or before you present it to the customer, you get to see what you're really showing. And you're just going through and seeing all the reports. So this is a new report, picture of 2. So you don't get the inside shots, but you know, it's really what you want to show the customer. And then if I close this out, you also get to do the slideshow with the same report. So it looks a little bit different. Again, you'll use the arrow to guide you through. And again, you've got the down arrow. Now that I click the down arrow, now I get the inside shots on the slideshow. So I didn't get them on the PDF, but on the slideshow, when I look at the property and I play with my arrows here, I get to see the inside photos of the property. So you have so many options. You know, if you wanted to show the PDF report and keep that simple, just so they had an idea, and then go right into your slideshow, you could do that even while you're live, you know. But again, the live one that I've discovered in these last couple hours, you can click on, and it's a blend of both. And again, you can go field by field, or you can click on Start Presentation and just kind of guide it through. And don't forget, when it comes to the comps, you can click on the picture to look at the full listing if you wanted to, or you can click on the map, which I love, which again proves the point to the customer why you picked the comps that you did. Okay, so remember, the red ones are the ones that sold, the yellow are the pending, and the green are the ones that are active. So when people say, oh, I only came up with 2 comps, well, this is why. It's going to show you right here and show the customer right here why that's possible. Because look, around our area, here's my home, but you know, outside of the area, it's still the same square mile, but there's more activity further south than it is where my subject property is at. So they can see that for themselves. And since they know the neighborhood that they live in, they might understand, like, oh yeah, I know where you are now. That's why my property is selling for this one. Up here, they're selling for a little bit more or less. And then you also have the map, or I'm sorry, the list, if you wanted to do that instead of the map. So 3 cool ways live to show your comps. And then down at the bottom again, the average pricing, the average price per square footage, how long it takes to sell on an average, your online valuation from Zillow. And again, don't forget, if it has the little I and they don't understand, they can run the video. You can run the video for them. And all your fluff that you have here. And again, clicking on the menu at the top, and you could look at Zoom. You could do it through Skype if they have Skype. You could do it through Google Handouts. So cool, exciting stuff for you guys that just came about. And I would say play with it. I'm still playing with it. So that is a cool thing that you want to kind of discover. Okay. So I'm still discovering stuff for it. I would say go in here and play around with it and see what you got. Make up a mock one and just click on everything and see what you get. Because I don't do what you guys do. I know a little bit, but I don't do what you guys do. But you guys now have the opportunity to set this up and make yourself completely different than any other agent. And now you don't have to wait, because you can click on the menu and you can do a virtual CMA for your customer, which is really cool, which is really great. So, and give them your feedback down at the bottom. You can directly go to Cloud CMA and give them the feedback, or tell them what they missed and see if they can incorporate it. So that's gonna take up today's webinar, quick webinar on Cloud CMA. I hope you like it. We will be incorporating this into every CMA class that we have now. So if you're wanting to know more about just how to do CMAs, we do have a class on creating CMAs in Realcomp online that you can come back and take that. I have been at Realcomp now for 20 years, and that's the time I get to see all of the agents that have been with me all this time. They always come back to a CMA class, always, always. So we're going to be incorporating this into every CMA class. We might have time to offer this in the Remind, because if you are using Remind, when you click on the CMA portion, Cloud CMA is now incorporated into Remind. So almost like a one-stop shop. So this is cool, this is new, and we're going to be using this for a very long time, guys. So this is recorded. You're going to get a recording of this so that you can practice, but you can also go into Cloud CMA right now yourself, and you can watch the videos that they have to maybe answer any of the questions that you have, or just, again, to just start slowly building up and getting your CMA together the way that you'd like to. So thanks for joining me this morning. Don't forget to go and look at, I believe at 10:30, there's a webinar for Remind. So you want to log into Realcomp online and go to the home page, and you want to find in the news and alerts the link. I don't know where it is. There is a link somewhere for product of the month, and you can click on that and social media, and then you can sign up so that you can see all the cool stuff that we're bringing you this week, right? So we'll take it slow. You don't have to use everything, but we do want to expose you to everything that we're going to be incorporating. So any questions, give us a buzz, play around with it, see what you like. And I hope to see you on the next Remind class, and I hope to see you guys on the next how to do or creating CMAs in Realcomp Online 3. So have a good one, guys.